www.hbborough.com, and on the bulletin board of Borough Hall, 221 South Fifth Avenue in Highland Park, New Jersey, and has remained continuously posted as required by law. Fire exits are to the right and left of council chambers. Councilwoman Varga, could you please lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Mayor Foster.
Yes.
Councilmember George.
Here.
Councilmember Hill.
Here.
Councilmember Hirsch. Council President Kim Chohan.
Here.
Councilmember Pistonik.
Here.
Councilmember Vargas.
Here.
Borough Attorney Black.
Here.
Borough Administrator Hobart.
Here.
Items on discussion and review of the rules of order. So we're gonna hop right to it, and, Borough Attorney,
Yes. So.
we're gonna ask you to
All right.
jump right on it.
Yes, because you're new.
Oh, yes. Oh,
For
sorry.
Zoom purposes, that is, so just everybody just speak in a good voice.
Aloud.
Oh, okay, so it's the microphone?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
up
mic
there.
for the
Gotcha.
Zoom,
So
just
everyone
so you
can
know, so that, just.
Here and, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. All right, so today's special meeting was called just to go over the new rules or the changes to the rules of order that you all have, adopted at your reorg meeting on January 7th. So I'm not gonna read out loud to you every little thing, you guys can read. But I just wanted to go through the changes that were done to the rules of order. So, section 5, so the references to redevelopment entity meetings on page 2 have been removed because essentially Highland Park does not have redevelopment entity meetings anymore. Everything is done during their work session or during their general council, general meeting, sorry. So that was removed. Under the new section 6, Open Public Meetings Act, page 3, essentially just details, the 9 instances of when, and this is just right out of this Open Public Meetings Act, of when the council can go into executive session. Essentially, the council needs to make sure they pass a resolution to go into executive session, have the discussions, and have a resolution to come out of executive session, and then go back into their public meeting.
Just one quick
Yes.
question, so we can have, say we're having this meeting and
Yes.
we say we need an exec session to do whatever, and then we come back out and we can continue on with the public?
Yes, but you need to have the executive session published before.
Correct.
So tonight we can't go into executive session.
Right.
Because the public doesn't have notice of it.
Okay.
But at your next general meeting, or your next council meeting, if you need to have an executive session, then you
We
can.
can notice that and then come back to the
Yes,
public.
notice it to the, yep. Yes,
That's good to know.
So number B,
yes,
matters the disclosure of which would jeopardize the receipt of federal funds.
yes.
Can we jeopardize the receipt of state funds?
You're asking her to speak on
Hold
your
on.
So.
to defend that statute?
I mean, I don't, it's not in this, if it's not there, I suppose we don't have.
You know what, I
It's
don't,
either in
I should have I should have all OMA memorized, I do not unfortunately, but I will look into that and get back to you, but usually I would assume yes, but I don't wanna, sometimes you know what happens when you assume.
Right.
Okay, so, quorums, trying to think, there was no changes made to your quorums. Attendance requirements, I believe.
Is that something I think we should delve a
We should
little
talk about the
bit deeper?
attendance
Yes.
requirements, okay, so we can talk about that, absolutely. Okay, so every council member must attend every meeting and participate in the agenda in order for the resolutions and any ordinances to pass. This is especially important is when it comes to your bond ordinances, because bond ordinances require 2/3 approval of members present. So unfortunately, if you don't have a quorum, then resolutions can't get passed, bills can't get paid, employees don't get paid. Let's see. Any office of any person appointed by the council, if you fail to attend or and participate in any meetings for a period of 8 consecutive weeks, which is right out of the municipal vacancy law, then you are considered to be vacant and you can be excused. If you're gonna have unexcused absences from the council does need to approve your continued absence, like if
Maternity leave, like we
maternity leave, exactly, maternity leave, or health issues,
Yes,
or,
yes,
you know,
yes. Any-
just so it's on the record, right? Yes.
Sorry,
No, not at all, please.
that's what I do. Every member must attend every meeting and participate in the agenda to pass, we just need a quorum.
Correct,
So
correct.
the way
We
it's
just need a
written
quorum.
Makes it sound like everybody has to be there.
No, obviously, and we don't have all council members here today
Right.
also, but you can't be abusive of it, you know, if you're gonna be continuously absent, members of the public voted you in to do a job, right? And you wanna make sure that you are here and doing your job, right? So, like, if you miss 1 or 2 meetings, that's okay, if you have to go on vacation, that's okay. But if you're gonna be out for an extended period of time, if you're gonna be missing several meetings in a row, we may wanna consider passing a resolution to excuse you from the meeting, so that way your spot is not gonna be deemed vacant, and then you'd be subject to removal, essentially.
Right, I guess my question is
Yes.
the language, the first sentence says every member must be there every time, and that's not really the case. And then later on, in order to excuse the member's absence, the majority of the governing body must pass, a resolution. Every time you wanna excuse a single absence, we have to do a resolution, that seems a little excessive.
I don't think
Is it the
But it
8
says-
consecutive?
No, I don't think we wanted to, I don't believe that was the intent, to every time you wanted to go on vacation, to get an excuse,
I don't think it was either.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I think there's maybe a bit of a disconnect.
It's
between,
vague.
It's a little
well,
vague.
And it
it's a
says
little
3
vague.
in
It's
order
vague
to.
as much as it's a bit misleading the way it's written.
It seems
So
to be
it just-
written that anytime we want to excuse a single absence, we have to do a resolution. That's the way it seems to be written.
Okay.
And the first one seems to be written that everybody has to attend every meeting. And I
For
don't
the
want-
agenda to pass.
For the agenda to pass, and so.
Which that part is.
I don't want anybody to look at that and say, there was no
So like because we have one council member here, then we
Right,
can't
right.
pass the entire resolution. So we can definitely, since this was already been adopted, we
So we
can
can do an amendment.
absolutely do an
Mhm,
amendment,
mhm,
yes.
mhm.
We can absolutely do an amendment on this, that's not a problem.
All right, so our amended language is, okay,
And we
attorney.
can, and what we can do
No,
is.
I have a question first.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
no, I'll let you.
Well, okay, yes, so what we can do is, if you wanna do it at the next general council meeting, if
Well,
that's
we can,
okay?
yes, we can make the
Let's see
adjustment in
what- let's
language.
see how
and-
this
and
Oh,
see-
yeah, absolutely. So it's
Let's
like
flow
any-
through this,
Any
yeah.
amendments that we wanna do, we can get them
Right.
passed at the next meeting. We can't do it tonight.
Right.
No,
because-
but
But
our
we'll do it
next
at the next
meeting.
council meeting,
Right.
yes.
And also in that first sentence, every member must attend every meeting and participate for the agenda to pass. The way it's like, I understand what it means is, you can't do business without a quorum. I
Right.
understand that, and Harlan just explained that, but
But maybe the
the
language
way
is
it
that we need a
reads is,
quorum.
we have to pass the agenda, and some councils do that. They vote to accept the mayor proposes the agenda, but that's a different form of government.
Yes,
It's a
I know.
non-faulty. But the way it reads is, it sounds like we have to pass the agenda.
Instead of passing
In
the
order to
resolutions
move
on
on.
the agenda, or
Doing
the
the
ordinances,
business.
doing the business, okay,
Yeah,
yep,
just to clarify that.
yep.
Okay.
You can do
And
that.
when you
So we're
say,
gonna do correction on that one.
when it say at 8 consecutive weeks, is that 8 consecutive meetings?
No, it's 4 meetings.
I
And I
need,
think that's straight
I
from
need
the
clarity
And
on
that's straight from the
that.
statute,
That's straight from the statute, so
Eight
it
consecutive.
is meant to be 8 weeks, I believe.
yes, I believe it is 8 weeks.
So say, for example, we have standing committees that meet.
Yes.
And if you if you have your council meetings and then you have your standing committee meetings, is that included in that 8 consecutive meetings?
I would,
Any clarity on
I
that?
would need, we
Yeah.
would get clarity on that, yes.
Yeah, the statute is, it's council meeting.
I believe it's council.
It's just
meetings,
council
it's
meetings.
for-
Also, it's not
It's a
even work session?
Governing body, governing
No,
body.
this
No,
is,
this
this
is
is
a
not to be,
public
this,
session.
this is
So, yes.
one of our meetings.
This is a meeting, yes, but not your committee meetings, so that doesn't constitute a quorum.
Okay.
Yeah, it's meetings of the governing, so.
Governing body.
Work session.
Yeah,
Or
work
action,
session.
Work
yes, I
session
know,
governing
but there's-
meetings, yeah,
Yes.
okay. I just wanna be clear on that.
Nope, absolutely. Gonna write myself a little note.
Anything else that we need to look at just a little bit more careful before we move on?
For attendance requirements?
Mm-hmm.
So and just so I'm clear too, it's the need for the majority governing body is for those extended more than 8 weeks in a row.
Right.
That's, so just to
Yes.
make that clear.
Yes,
Okay. I
yes.
just wanna make sure my notes.
Yep.
And, I do think the second sentence probably needs to be revised too, in
yeah.
light of, Matt and Phil's comments, that if the agenda cannot pass,
Yeah.
the borough cannot.
Yeah, so it has to
That's a
Right.
different form of government, it's not
Yes.
ours.
It's not
the
really
resol-
applicable
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, I'll take that one out, cause that's not our form of government.
Yes, absolutely. That's fine.
Record keeping.
Record keeping. Okay, after, let's see, I don't think there's any changes to, no, oh, hold on, just trying to go through. Oh, that one is new. Okay. Record keeping. After a call to order, the mayor will request the clerk to call the roll and note the absences. If the meeting has started and a council member has walked in, we're just gonna note the time that the council member has walked in. And the clerk is gonna keep a record of attendance, again, this goes back to your attendance requirements, to make sure that you're not gonna be missing several meetings in, more than 8 consecutive weeks, essentially. In the event of absence of the clerk and deputy clerk, the presiding officer shall appoint a clerk pro temp. Oh, interesting, okay.
So for example,
So,
Maureen would fill in.
Maureen would,
Maureen.
correct.
Okay.
So, or if Jennifer is out and Maureen is out, then
I've done
I'll
it.
be
One
Terry.
time, one time.
That was Terry.
We kinda winged
She
it,
did,
so
yeah,
this is-
she was wearing many hats that
It
night.
was not fun, cause I was like, Zoom, this,
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Not right next to you, so I can feel the tension.
But it
can
can be
attest.
done, but now we know the official procedure
Right.
for that.
yes. And so,
Cause it was Sunday.
again,
so
once,
just clean the language up.
and one sentence above that, it says the clerk will also keep a record attendance of, herself, the attorney who shows up, and also the borough administrator, to make sure that they're also in attendance at these meetings. The clerk shall perform their duties according to their statute in New Jersey. As we know, Jennifer is already a registered clerk, she knows her job. She's gonna publish and keep the minutes of all meetings, and then you guys will approve of those minutes after your next meeting. Regular meeting order of business. I think this is, let's see, okay, so here, you call to order, salute, flag salute, roll call, approval of minutes, reports, then we go into, there are there are really 3 chances for public participation, depending if there is a second reading for an ordinance. The first public participation is only strictly those that are listed on the agenda. Then you'll have your ordinance reading, then you'll have a separate public portion if there is a second reading ordinance, if an ordinance is on for a second reading, they get a separate, public participation. And after the resolutions are passed, then there is a separate public participation, second or third public participation, in which when the public can come up and speak for 3 minutes, or I think 3 minutes per speaker, and I think it's supposed to be no longer than 21 minutes total.
That's the first.
That's the,
Yeah.
oh, that's the first one, okay.
The first one.
So the second one is 3 minutes per speaker.
Phil?
Yeah, I think the section needs a little clarification. We all understand the sense of it and how it works, but it actually, it kind of,
What number are you looking at, Phil?
I'm looking at section 5 in Article 3 on, the public participation. I
You mean
don't wanna
section
change
Section.
it.
So section
Section
article
one,
five.
section one.
Section 4, article,
Section 4.
yeah,
Article 4, section 1.
Yes.
Section 5.
Section 5.
Article 4, section 5.
you did jump ahead.
Oh, you jumped
Oh.
ahead. Sweet. We're on someplace else. Yeah, cause I'm like, that's why I asked, where are you? I'm like, we're not there yet. We'll catch up to you.
I have a question on the form though.
What section are you though?
You still,
Are we
Because
still
we-
on one forum?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're on section
we're-
5,
yes.
section 1. We're just going through
Order.
Yeah,
section
so
1.
we just did the regular meeting order of business.
Yes.
Right, Article
Right.
4, Section 1.
Section
Yeah.
1. And,
Okay.
Okay, so
My
we're,
question was on Article 4, Section 5.
oh, you jumped way ahead of us.
Well, we were talking about the public participation.
we did, yeah, cause that was in the regular order meeting of business, that's where I talked
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Alright,
I understand the sense of it, and it really doesn't change anything, but the way it's presented, I think it needs to be spelled out a little more carefully that there are two public discussions. The first one limited to the agenda, and the second one for any topic, any speaker. And then, because the public participation in an ordinance is by statute,
yes,
and we might have 6 second readings,
yes, so,
and that would make,
That would
6
make 6 public
ordinances plus,
sessions.
plus 2
Right.
public sessions.
right,
So I think that, the ordinance discussion should be broken out just to make it clear, because a member of the public reading this might say, well, are there, do you have 3 sections, do you have 3, if I wanna talk about an ordinance, or can I talk about, the school board, when, but we're talking about the ordinance for a school board. I just think it would get confusing, I think it just needs to be clarified a little bit.
Okay, so flush it out some more.
Yeah, just a slight change.
Yeah, the first sentence, the public shall have two times for, every meeting there will be 2 times for public comment,
yes.
with additional public comment for
Or-
statutorily required ordinance.
As per,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah, that's fine,
clarifies it.
that's fine, you definitely
Just
do
the
that.
way it read, you could read it as, there's 3 public sessions.
There's only 3 public
so-
sessions, but
yeah,
there
so-
could be, you're right, there could be multiple
And the other one that
ordinances.
I've debated for many, many, many years, and I don't know how anybody else feels about it, because sometimes I feel like saying 5 minutes is more than enough. 21 minutes? It's just an odd number.
Because it divides
Because by
into
3.
3.
Three.
By
But
3.
so does 30, it's just, so does 27,
I believe, so I
There you go.
believe that your, public portion, with the, each member of the public shall have 3 minutes each to speak,
With a limit
3
of
minutes
21
each,
minutes.
with a total of 21 minutes in total to speak. I believe that is out of your ordinance.
Yeah,
So
it was
that's,
put in, many, many years
Yeah,
ago,
so
just
that may-
wondering how people
you know.
feel about 21 minutes. I mean, we all feel differently about it at different times.
So the
But
fact that the
there
first-
have been times when we've made a motion to extend for
Right, well, we have that,
something of
Mhm.
we have
importance.
that emergency valve, if it ever arises,
Yeah.
but it's pretty rare that I feel that it does. I feel like we're usually well under 21 minutes.
Yeah.
And then if we approach it, then we certainly can always
And then
relax it.
the
It's always
second
been
public
done.
session is open until we run out of time. So-
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
right,
We have it until 9 o'clock.
That's-
And then
it's just
in
like-
the, if
it's always
we,
been a
there
problem.
has been times when we choose to, we vote on extension. So if
Yeah.
that should arise, then we can
Right.
always vote to extend if we need it.
so your public meetings are statutorily, you put it in your public notice that it goes from 7 to 9? Okay, okay,
And then if we need an extension, then we extend.
you extend it as.
Yeah, that's.
Long ago, there
So-
are the days when we're here till 1 o'clock in the
I-
morning.
Sometimes you have a lot of items to discuss and that happens, absolutely.
Anything else in this section?
Anything else in section 5?
No.
Okay. Section 6, council members are expected to refrain from using personal cell phones during the meetings because it can look, it gives off a bad impression and it can look like a violation of the Open Public Meetings Act.
Mhm.
If you are all on your phones, you could just be texting, you know, your spouse at home saying, hey, did the dog go out yet? But someone, member from the public can view that as two council people having a conversation with each other about items on the agenda. So it just doesn't look good, so we encourage, you know, put your cell phones away during the meeting, don't be on your phone. And also anything that, be advised that if you are conducting borough business on your cell phone, that is subject to Oprah. So just be knowledgeable of that. You know, be aware of that.
So the council members are to step away from the dais?
If you need to make a personal phone call, or
Yeah,
make,
or whatever,
yes, I would
yeah.
say, you know, step out, absolutely.
Because of appearance,
Because
it would
appearance
give the
doesn't-
wrong appearance.
Correct,
So it makes sense that you step
yes,
away.
yes, absolutely.
And use use of our cell phone, our personal cell phone it can be operable, right?
Absolutely, use of your cell phone if you're conducting business on your personal cell phone, it is subject to Oprah.
And how long would they take your phone away for that?
As long as I need to get anything off of it.
Wow.
They
So-
make a forensic mirror copy of your phone, and they have everything that you have on it since you bought it.
Oh my God. That's a lot. Oh wow.
Mhm.
So wait, it's just like messages, but it would like touch your WhatsApp or your Instagram, or it's just everything on your phone.
And,
Mhm.
well,
Everything,
yes,
all your contacts, all your photographs, all your emails, by the way. If you get your emails on your phone,
yes.
they're in your phone. It's like copying your computer.
Correct. So but anything that is personal on your phone, like pictures of your family or pictures of
Your puppy.
your puppy, that's not subject to Oprah. You
But
know.
they would have already looked at it.
Exactly, that's true. I would show everybody a picture of my new puppy if I had one.
The attorney, other attorney or judge could have access to
Well,
the entirety.
Of the entirety of your phone.
Yes.
Personal stuff would be shared with.
yeah, so just,
The client.
yes. So be wary on any, text messages, if you're conducting borough business on your personal phone, it is subject to Oprah, plain and simple. Someone can
Yep.
make an Oprah request for your text messages, someone can make an Oprah request for any emails that you have on your phone,
Mhm.
if it's involving borough business, so.
And our borough phones, it's
Borough
we
phones
already-
are
it's
borough
already
phones,
backed up in-
exactly, so.
Yeah, it's borough property.
It's borough property,
So
so it's,
So it's,
So
it's,
you
it's,
have
it's
it-
definitely subjective
exactly,
because it
absolutely.
belongs to the borough.
Absolutely.
Anything?
Not borough business.
On borough,
Current
on
borough business
borough
on your
equipment.
borough phone.
On
Exactly.
borough
Borough
equipment.
Keep your lives separate. Be a
Or call
lot
me from the
easier.
payphone in the lobby.
They ain't no payphone no more.
Doesn't work. It's
It's
just
just
for
a
show.
show.
It's for
It's
show.
a
You gotta get
vintage
the
now.
listening.
It's a showpiece. It was
To
like
show
back in the
kids
day.
what, remember the olden days.
Yeah.
And then kids look at it and go, what is that?
Yeah.
Get the cell phone and the train station inside.
Alright, and, last one, section 7, please ensure that you are on time for your meetings. All your meetings always start at 7 o'clock. Please make sure you are here at a little bit before 7, by 7, because again, if the meeting starts later, if the meeting doesn't start till like 7:30, 7:40, that could be, again, appearances, it doesn't look good. It could be a violation, it could be a potential violation of the Open Public Meetings Act, because we made notice to the public that it's starting at 7, and then we're not starting it till 7:45 or 7:30, so just be on time, but everyone wants tonight, so I think we're good. Yeah, exactly.
not the order.
Yeah, I just saw that
I was just
myself.
about to bring that up,
Yeah.
yeah.
What-
The different
We
orders.
usually do, the public comment on this agenda is after the discussion, so.
Oh, okay, so then we will
I mean,
amend those and flip them around.
Yeah.
Any items that, any resolutions or ordinances that have to be prepared, again, this is probably more for, administration side. We have to make sure that they get to Jennifer the Monday, the week before your work session meeting. So that Jennifer has enough time to assemble your packets, send them out, and review if necessary. Let's see. Number 3, except for routine or emergent matters, no discussion items may be listed on the agenda unless it's been brought through your standing committee for recommendation for your, to the full council.
We just had a discussion on this.
Did you?
Yeah.
Should a council member have a question about whether a matter is routine or not, they should consult your standing committee or the administration for that purpose. Again, because once the agenda is set, we really shouldn't be adding things to the agenda until, if the agenda's already been published about that.
What are some of the exceptions?
Emergent matters,
Mhm.
that's pretty much like extreme
Extreme, yes.
circumstances. I could think of a couple of items. God forbid if you have a fire breaks out in one of your buildings and you need to immediately pass, contract with the demolition company to take that building down, for like anything that is for public health, safety, and welfare. Like,
That's what I wanted.
that's what I was, sorry, I couldn't think of it, health, safety, and welfare, or to add like a regular contract, we can't add those, cause that's not considered emergent. So anything dealing with the public health, safety, and welfare, we can add, or possibly if there is a gap between the work session and the regular meeting, we would call an emergency meeting to get that done.
To say, God forbid, if you get 30 inches of snow and we run out of funding for snow,
Run out of
and
snow.
we need to be emergency appropriation for funds.
Merge for any, but it has to be like a real, like, emergency. 30 inches of snow, maybe, again, typical lawyer answer, it depends. That's all I can put it.
Okay. Alrighty.
Okay.
Anybody with any other questions
other
in this
questions?
session? Because we get these requests from members of the public that they may have, or one of our boards/commissions, that they have an emergency thing that never went through, and now it's like the emergency and they need it 2 days before the meeting, or they need the meeting off. So those are not.
Those are not emergency
It cannot,
items.
yeah.
No, if
It
you.
doesn't, there's a 3-section, you called it, from, the 3
Public
emergency.
health,
Public health,
safety.
safety, and welfare, yes, public health, safety, and welfare, yeah. Let's see. Mayor, this is just,
Mhm.
again, this just is also out of,
Mhm.
the Faulkner Act. The mayor presides over the borough council meetings, and, you shall, preserve order and decorum during the meetings. If people get out of hand, you can interrupt and kind of bring back everybody, to
Order.
Yeah, to order, thank you, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can I
Yes.
ask a question
Of
about
course.
section 5?
You jumping?
We're done?
No, the same section of the mayor section.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mayor, it's,
Wait. I like the part where it says the mayor shall say who can speak. And you just jumped over that part. He just like, okay, we don't want to talk about that.
That's true, so if you do have like a point of order, again, following,
Mayor recognizes who
following
can
like
speak. He's
Robert's
like, oh, let's
rules,
look at
you have a
that
point of
part.
order, address the mayor, and then the mayor will call on you.
Sorry, go ahead.
Section 5, the mayor shall not make promises or commitments which bind the council, and the council can't bind. What is that? How do you make a binding commitment without a vote on it? Like, what is, like, you got an example of how I could how any of us could bind the mayor or like.
I think this is like a strong mayor, weak council, kind of like.
I just thought this was another instance of maybe this just not being written very clearly. It kind of suggests that you can do it, but I think what they're saying is you shouldn't make those kinds of promises or commitments as if you could bond,
Right.
because you can't. It's not legally binding.
I guarantee you that, they're absolutely gonna pass X, Y, Z resolution by 6-0. I guarantee it, you'll get your contract.
You're gonna get your contract, or you can,
That's-
or you're gonna, I'll make sure that you'll, it's not a great example, but it's the only one I think off the top of my head, I apologize, but yes, absolutely, the administration can hire you and appoint you, you know, and hire you as a new police officer for Highland Park. You know,
That's a promise
which
you
is,
can't-
exactly, so,
Because she doesn't vote,
Okay.
it's us, that
The
we
police
pass.
department.
was it? Okay, sorry.
I-
Sorry.
Like Councilmember Hill can say, absolutely, you know, my cousin, brother, friend is gonna get this job without da-da-da-da-da, now I'm gonna talk to the mayor and it's gonna be okay.
I'm gonna talk to Mary,
Yeah,
exactly.
and the mayor comes in and say, oh yeah, sure, don't worry about it.
Right.
That kind of thing.
I think you're right, that it can't,
So-
the way it's written suggests
So we
like
need
it's
to tweak the
possible.
language on
Yeah, I think
this.
we need to tweak the language to
Okay,
make it clear
okay.
that it's
I-
not possible
I
that
would
you
delete
can,
it.
but you shouldn't.
I would delete it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It goes out beyond the realm of rules of order
Rules of
into
order
an
or
ethical code, I
anything.
think you drop it.
But I think in some towns, this is seriously needed. Not that ours, but, you know,
Yeah,
there
many-
are towns that
many
we
of
have
our
seen
clients-
that,
many of
are
our
in this
clients
pickle
do.
because of they didn't follow this
But
rule.
that's neither here nor there.
But I think this
I think
is-
it's an it's part of an ethics code, it's not, these are
Yeah.
rules of order, how you run your meetings, how you pass your laws, how you determine finances, and what everybody's role is in doing that. This is an ethical thing, and we have an ethics board. So I think that, I would delete it,
I think it should stay there and some parameters around it, because say
Well, it-
this
what if
this
it-
council goes away and someone else comes in, then somebody say it's silent on that. And I can do whatever I want.
What it should do then is delete directly and say, shall not make promises or commitments to anyone which by inference would influence the borough council's vote. You can't bind the council to it, but you can commit to their vote. That's what, essentially what you're doing is you're committing to their vote. So relanguage it to take out directly, because directly is irrelevant. And by inference or implication, guarantee the borough council's vote, or something like that is more appropriate.
I like that. Councilmember Hill?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say is you could say the borough council and the mayor make decisions in formal vote sessions, not in promises or commitments made outside of formal meetings or something. Is that flipping it to sort of say,
I don't know, I might stay away from it a little bit, but I see where you're going with it. Like, we pass resolutions authorizing the mayor and the borough clerk to sign contracts. You know, or the borough administrator to, hire subordinate employees subject to, confirmation by the mayor of the council, so. But I see where you're going with that.
I was just wondering if there was a way of saying like, all business of the borough and all business of the council is done in formal business sessions.
Yes,
Implicate or.
which is Open Public Meetings Act
Right,
anyway.
it
but
goes
then-
right
but
back
then
to
say
that.
something like, so, or.
In accordance with the
in
Open
accordance-
Public Meeting Act.
So it's inappropriate
It's
to do
inappropriate.
these
Right,
kinds
right.
of
It's
things.
inappropriate
Right.
for the
Right.
mayor or the council to
Mhm.
make promises or inferences that bind the council outside of formal meetings.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's actually statutory, that's what I'm saying. I don't
Yeah.
think
Well,
it's-
there's other stuff in here that's
Yeah, so
statutory,
you have-
so.
Right, but
you
it's
have
still-
Municipal
I think we're just flushing it out.
officers.
Yeah, it's okay then.
I think so, it's in Title 40. It's 48-9-150.
Why was
And
this
there's
here?
four
Like, what is the, what's the meaning behind it? Like, why?
I'm sure it was put in because somebody did it.
I mean,
Look around the state of New Jersey.
This was this added?
this was, no, this
not-
was.
This has always been here.
This has always been
That
here,
was-
and I don't know,
We don't know how long.
I don't know how long this has been in here
So
for.
that's not one of the new changes.
No, nothing was changed on, this is just one of those things that sits here
I
because
think the
of
only thing
the
that was
many, many
added was
years
to
of.
flip it and say
Flip
the
it,
mayor
right.
can't and
Yeah,
neither can
mayor
the
can't
council.
promises and
Mayor-
council-
mayor and
But
council cannot.
and
that
can't
line
make
was there
promises to
already.
each other, essentially.
So-
So but I
So
don't
just-
know why the original, mayor shall not make promises or commitments, but
Predated the local public records law.
that it could be very possible.
That's
Back
why-
in the
that's
olden
why-
days.
That's why,
Yeah.
that's why I would delete it, but that's what it's funny.
Mayor/council cannot. Go ahead.
I would keep it, it doesn't hurt to have these kind of like good,
Good
policies
practices in
there, so
place,
that
yes.
is a reminder, but
Mhm.
definitely needs to be reworded, so it doesn't suggest that it's impossible that
Right.
you can find the borough council
Right.
through
Through-
a false promise. or
Mhm.
commitment,
Right.
because
No,
That's true. I would keep the language.
we can definitely tweak the language, absolutely.
Mhm.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, mayor shall provide approval of regular work session and a special meeting agendas. The mayor shall consult with council president, borough administrator, borough clerk on a bi-weekly basis concerning agendas, and will ensure that all non-routine items have been duly considered by each standing committee before allowing them to be placed on the agendas.
We spoke a little bit about that earlier.
Yeah, we did. So again, anything that is non-routine, needs to go through your special committees, needs to go through your standing committees before they get placed on the agenda. Matter can be added to any regular meeting if 5 or more members of the council make the request through council president to have mayor added. And items.
Five out of six.
I thought it used to be 4 else.
Isn't there, it's fine, but
That's just the start.
that's a pretty high bar.
Yeah,
Yep,
Maybe
we can
that's
leave it.
what that-
Mhm.
I think that's why,
Because
that's why it went to
Cause
five.
again, I think you want it to be like a higher bar
Higher
anyway,
bar,
that way
right.
we just can't
Yeah.
start adding things to the agenda, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Any items any items that are added to the agenda shall not be presented for a vote by the council until the full council reviews the agenda item at the next, work session meeting. Okay, let's see. Borough council president, at your reorg meetings, you vote for a new council president every, at your next annual meeting. Let's see, acting mayor. Let's see, here we go.
So we left for 1 year
End of the paragraph.
So, that's a question that we wanna go back
That's
to.
what I think he.
Harlan, you may not be, you're not familiar.
No, please.
The council members were saying, that they wanted us to extend it from a 1 year to a 2 year, council president serving, because 1 year, you're just really getting everything together at the end of the year. So, to really delve in, we were suggesting that it would be a 2 year. I'm not sure if everyone was on board with that, so to make it a 2 year, the council president serves as 2 years or something like that?
Well, something like that. I would advocate that you can't have it be for a 2-year term when you have a new council constituted every year, so there could be a change of opinion. They could always change the rules anyway, but I think what, a number of us were discussing was a 2-year limit. I mean, personally, I would be okay with a longer limit, like 3 years or so. I'm open-minded on that, but I think that's more along the line, so that like you couldn't serve for too long as council president, so I think we thought, like, we definitely had this conversation, that there'd be more rotation so that everybody gets that kind of experience.
I think that was, I thought that was the intent as well, is that, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tom.
See, he has a problem with that rule.
Yeah, take that out.
Wait, wait, wait.
If I recognize
Councilmember Hill,
myself.
excuse me, Council President, Councilmember Hill has the floor.
Councilmember Hill speak.
Councilmember.
The rest of us, whatever.
I think the intent was to just have turnover and to have, and I could go for 3, but I think that the intent that we were all talking about was that we ought to rotate council presidents after 2 or 3 years, that we shouldn't have a council president who's there for 100 years.
So true.
One for 2 or 3 years. That was our intent.
I had a
Councilman.
question about that too. I thought that the thought was that to limit it, but I also agree with Jason that the council reconstitutes itself every year. And I think you have to elect a council president
At every reorg.
Yeah.
So that 2-year, so it's actually a term limit as opposed to an appointed term. Because you might have somebody whose term actually ends, and so theoretically on December 31st, they have
Everybody
to be
gets reset.
certified and then sworn in again, because they're not a council person.
Right, right, right.
So, I would be, leave it that they appoint it every year, but if you want to do the term limit, I'm fine with the term, whatever it is, 2 or 3.
We'll have to also, take a look at your ordinance to make sure that.
Yeah, we may have to find.
You may have to amend your ordinance.
Our
in order to
ordinance
find out.
is in line with this. Our
Yeah.
ordinance is in line with the
Is this?
1 year.
Okay.
Yes, it is
Okay.
in line.
So we may have to.
So if, I think this is where you all should have a discussion, because I don't get to vote, so you all should have that
Yeah.
discussion.
I think there's, the one value of 2 over 3 years, and again, I'm playing this out, right? The one value of 2 over 3 is that 3 is the entire length of a council term, right? And 2 would stagger it potentially.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
after you do a 2-year term, then you would still have a 3rd year, or you could have a 3rd year as just a council person. It's a small point, but maybe that helps the transition process or something like that. Because what if you had someone who got elected and did a 3-year term and then disappeared, and there's no institutional memory or transition. In a 2-year term, you're always going to have overlap, and with an overlap, that means that the current council president knows that they're going to be not council president after 2 years, and presumably anybody who's interested can go to the council president and say, "Tell me about your job. What do you do?" And or something like that.
I think we should also put if the current, you have the 2 years that person couldn't run again,
Yeah. Well,
right?
No, that's a term limit. Yeah.
Oh,
If
the
you're gonna
term
put it
limit.
as a term
Yeah.
limit, yeah.
Well, they would have to step away for, if I did 2 years, and then, I couldn't go again for another, I would need to step away, someone, in the middle, then maybe you can go again, but.
So you take some time off, but say for example, what if nobody was interested, then you would find
Yeah, I'm
yourself.
thinking of a certain
Right.
council
Yeah.
person that did this. for
Yes,
whatever
and it
it
was
is.
exactly.
Because nobody else wanted it.
Nobody else wanted it, and there's times when
Well,
it's
that also
it's so
passes
much
the
work.
buck to somebody else that has to
Yeah.
step up, right?
Yes.
You know?
I could see having an exception though, because if the person wants to stay on and no one else wants to do it,
Correct.
or
Yeah.
they're ineligible, but the default could be that it just sort of turns over, that you can have it so that you would be ineligible for the next, whatever the math would be, 6-8 years until it'd be your turn again. Unless, again, no one else wants to do it, and you are willing to do it.
I think I would just stick with the term limit as a term limit and stay away from all the rest of the parameters. Because I think that dynamic generates itself. Whether we have to say it's absolute or mandatory, other than saying the council president serves for 2 years.
Huh?
So what would that do?
You
And
know,
then
say,
you
well,
either
they-
take
then
a
they can't
6-year
run
break
again
or come
until
back in a
somebody
year,
else-
you don't know.
They can't run again until somebody else runs, or, they can't run for 2 consecutive
Can't
2-year
run.
terms. I don't think we need that much rigor to it, and just say,
Two years.
the person elected to council president shall serve for 2 years, period.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, that's what we have.
Like informally.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think the study
Yeah.
formalizes.
They're elected every year, but they're 2 years.
That way everybody plans.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and they will be, you know, it's maybe a technicality, but in their second year at reorg, they have to be nominated again. I think that's statutory, I think it's.
Yeah, I think so,
mandatory.
yes, yes, yes.
They have,
They
because
has to-
we
it has to go through.
reorganize it
Mhm.
every year.
Right.
So what if the person steps down or they lose their election?
Do they fill the unexpired
Do you
term?
appoint?
Somebody else amongst the council,
The
somebody
council.
Oh,
else
so
can.
that's
council.
why.
The council, right,
they-
yeah.
okay.
And the question would be, is it for the remainder of their 2-year term, or is it start another?
Oh, term, yeah.
Yeah, or it could be for the remainder, or it starts another one next time.
You get 2 years if it's in the middle of the second year term, they get to finish that half year and then get a fresh 2 years, otherwise then you're gonna have it always be in the middle.
Yeah.
So,
Because I think most of us have filled an unexpired term at one point in our
Yeah,
career.
because when
and then had to
Susie
run again.
passed, then, you know,
That's
we
right.
had that in the middle, and
Yeah.
it was in the middle of her term that she
Yeah.
passed.
Usually I'm sorry, like or if there's a vacant,
The
just talk about like
vacancy.
regular vacancy,
Right.
you know, that person fills the vacancy and then they get
Right.
reappointed. So I think
Correct.
just to try to be consistent, so you're not, you know, reappointing members in
Mhm.
August.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it should be consistent.
Just
Yes,
fill in the
yes.
vacancy and then.
Yeah, and
then
then.
you can still get 2
You
years.
still, and then at your next reorg, you can
Yeah,
get
you
another
can
2
vote that
years.
person on.
Exactly.
Whereas like if you're filling a vacancy, that doesn't count towards the 2 years.
Correct.
Correct,
Correct,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's.
Your
That's fair.
internship.
Yeah.
You're doing an internship.
Well, you're probably helping get someone out of jail, like,
Yeah.
got a vacancy.
Okay.
Okay, acting, any more questions before I move on from?
So what are we doing with that? Is that being changed or no?
Yes.
2-year
Okay.
term.
Yes, we're
Yeah,
gonna, it changes.
2-year
Oh,
term
so,
limit.
okay.
Fill the unexpired term.
Yes.
And that's it.
I was calling everyone wants 3.
And stay with you.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, acting mayor. If the mayor is absent, from the borough for more than 3 days, you shall notify the council president in writing of the intended absence, and then the council president then becomes acting mayor until the mayor's return. If council president is unable to act, say if she's also away at the same time, then whoever is the longest standing member is acting mayor.
Oh, that's why it was Phil that
Yeah,
one
yeah, that's why it was
time?
Phil,
I
yeah.
thought Phil
Yeah.
just volunteered.
No. It's the longest serving person.
Council, again, I don't wanna go through like every single one of these, I don't think any of these
No,
are really
if it's
new.
not new.
Yeah, if it's not new, I'm just trying to like,
If you could go to section 6 and just let's dig into Oprah a little bit.
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
see where we are with that. I think that's the newest thing because Oprah is always changing.
that's true. Oh, sorry, council.
Changing, yeah.
Alright. Okay, council members' comments are construed as the voice of governing body on public issues. Council members, when speaking or if you're using social media, again, if you're using your social media as part of your title, you are subject to the Open Public Records Act. So again, things that if you have your own,
Yeah, she's mad
Facebook
about it.
Facebook page, thank you.
She was
I'm
mad
sorry.
about it, right?
I'm just struggling today. If you have your own personal your own council Facebook page, that can be subject to Oprah.
Wait.
Yes.
Your own council Facebook, if you have your own Facebook page that you had prior to council.
I know, it's,
Mhm.
It's hard.
I don't,
If you have a person, I'm sorry to jump in, but I just wrote a policy for 2 towns exactly on point, which is now required. And if you have your own Facebook
Laura,
page through the college or
One
something.
second. And then I'm gonna go to Councilmember George.
No, that's fine. And if you
No,
disagree,
go
if you
ahead.
have something else, you know, please,
Right,
you know,
yeah,
go ahead.
you know, I'm
Laura,
more,
Tony, go ahead.
more than welcome to have a conversation about this as well. If you are if you are conducting business through Facebook, if you are using it as part of as like you're wearing your hat as a councilman, then I would say yes, it is subject to Oprah. But whatever happened on your Facebook page prior to becoming a council member, that's not subject to Oprah. I would not put that as subject to Oprah.
Go ahead.
Right.
His eyes went.
Yes.
I get another curveball. If I had a Facebook page before I was a councilman.
Yes.
When I first came on council, all I did is post on Facebook.
Okay.
And then I hit myself in the head with a hammer and decided that was a really stupid thing to do, but don't post your thing anymore. Is there a statute of limitations when I get the Facebook page? Now that I used it once, the year, like when I first started, literally I did a lot of posting.
Right.
Right? I tried to communicate on Facebook and then it doesn't work. And so
Right.
I don't do it anymore.
Correct.
Can I take my own Facebook page back and it's not operable anymore? Or is it because I did it once, it's always operable?
You did it once, it's always over.
What if I trash the Facebook page and start a new one?
That, now you're running into state records retention rules.
Mhm. Yep.
Wow.
So, I apologize, I don't know the state records retention schedule off the top of my head. I know there have been I believe there have been changes recently that talk about social media on this. But I can definitely look into that for you, when your pages can be deleted and any communications from those pages are allowed to be deleted, so, and how they can be deleted as well. So there's also rules on how you delete things.
You have to ask.
You have to ask permission, you just can't go, 3 years are up, delete.
Yeah. If it's a public record, you
If
have
it's a
to.
public record, you
have
need
to
permission,
apply to the
you have to
treasurer.
apply for this, you know, through DARM or state record, they
Yep.
aren't DARM anymore, but.
So,
state
so
record.
say for example, I went on my personal Facebook page and I said,
What were you saying? What were you?
and I said something about, say, I just said something like really off the wall, but it's on my Facebook page, but it's about the council, or it's about the borough. That's operable?
It can be operable, again, like, I don't really, we can dive in really
Okay, so
deep
say
into, like,
I
all
went
these,
on a
like-
rant. Say I went and and I was like, I hate this, da 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 da, and I just kept on going about stuff that happened in a meeting, and I keep going on and
And I
just
was-
talking about an ordinance that was passed and going into what was said and wanted to
Your diary.
reroute it. I'm
Diary,
diarying
yeah,
the
like
whole
how
thing
pretty
all
diary.
over again, and people start making comments, and I'm responding to the comments.
Mhm.
That's operable.
That is, I would say yes, that is operable. Now, when I'm also want to be very clear about this. When I'm saying it is operable, that doesn't mean it's definitely going to be releasable. Okay, there are several exceptions under Oprah. That again, but it's on a public Facebook page that may be separate. But what I'm saying is, it is subject to Oprah, but it may fall under one of the 26 some odd exemptions, maybe 28 now.
And then you go over the personnel.
Exactly, so there's so many different exemptions
Yeah.
under Oprah as well, that although it is subject to Oprah, it may not be releasable. So we're talking about two different avenues on this.
So in other words, don't have a Facebook page until you leave council.
Just be careful, it's hard, the lines get
challenging.
blurred very, very easily. So, again, just be careful,
Puppy posts only.
Puppy posts
Yeah,
only.
puppy posts. Councilmember George, you had something to add?
Yeah, part of what Matt was saying is, there's a lot of people who maintain more than one social media
Yes.
page.
Yes.
And in a lot of areas, especially larger towns in the cities, the council members and the mayor and all the directors actually maintain their own social media page to keep people informed, and all of that is subject to disclosure under Oprah. what council's talking about is, I can ask for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna
Gonna
get
get
it,
it,
but I have the right
correct.
to ask for it. But when you have a Facebook page, and a lot of us did it, I don't have one for any social media for exactly these reasons, I keep absolutely none. You know, because that's all I need is someone going to the law firm and say, well, you know. So, but like a lot of people started, you know, when they start a campaign or they're starting to push a social issue, they start putting it out on their social feeds. That becomes now you've made your social feed open, disclosable, because you're talking about borough business.
Is borough business campaign business? Like if you're running for
No.
re-election,
No.
you separate that? And if you run, if you have a campaign Facebook page.
If
that
you're
talks
running
about
your
the election,
if you're running your campaign on, I want us to pass an ordinance that bans fluffy dogs, I think they have
No,
to be
definitely,
banned.
yeah.
Ban fluffy dogs.
I'm in favor of fluffy dogs.
No,
I just lost a few votes there, but I'm more
That's-
fluffy
I-
dog.
You know.
We're gonna be the
you're
fluffy
putting
dog
out-
town.
You're putting out campaign information, but if you say, and I'm running for re-election, and I introduced an ordinance to ban fluffy dogs, now you've crossed over that line. So it really depends on how to
Yeah.
approach it, and, that's why a lot of big cities have IT managers that actually manage
Yes,
this.
absolutely. It's, again, you said the phrase probably like a dozen times just now. It depends. It depends. So again, the public can ask for anything, doesn't mean it's going to be disclosable, but again, going back to, you know, page 2 of this document, if you are conducting borough business, it is subject to Oprah. And that is on your phone, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, I don't know the others. TikTok.
And what's the default?
Grindr.
The judge makes the decision. What's the default? What's the default answer? It's disclosable.
Oh, it's disposable. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
They're always gonna err in
They're always gonna-
favor of disclosure.
Yes.
I have a question. I was just reading. I'm supposed to be running the goals and think session. I thought he was doing that.
I'm Council President.
I see that here, right?
Where you
Yeah,
at?
you do it.
Under duties and responsibilities, but it says in coordination with the mayor and borough administrator.
Right.
That's why we had that meeting the other day.
Yeah,
I prepared you for it.
Yeah, I know, but then it's
And don't be like, I'm not gonna be here. No, we'll help you, we'll work together. We're not, we'll help.
Where are you?
She's like, wait a second, are you serious?
What?
Well, it's a work session, so I'm not.
What is that?
B, page 8B,
Section 3 of,
Right.
council president.
the duties and responsibilities.
Yeah.
The goals.
Council President will conduct all of, yeah.
Last line.
Where, I'm sorry.
On 3.8, the page B, governance,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
Borough
is this the
council.
old one?
Yeah,
Is this the new
no,
one?
this is the new one.
So look at the old one, just curious.
Oh, wait, was that a change?
I don't know.
No,
I think it was there.
no, I have it on mine.
I didn't bring the old one, so I don't.
Oh, no, it's not a
Section.
change.
No, no, it's not.
It's always been.
Yep, it's there.
It's always,
Always.
Yeah.
always been.
See, standing, council standing committees, again, not really any changes.
No.
Nothing with that. Nominations, ordinances, resolutions.
Oh, I'm sorry, can I go back to Oprah real fast?
Yes.
Okay.
And, like, you know, town groups and different things. So what is the proper way to respond, right? If you're tagged on something, resident A, I done tripped on this one side here, it's ice here, you know, and they tag, all the council members here.
Oh, you're talking about like it's on the borough page?
No, there is, like.
I'm from Highland Park Group.
Like it's a group.
Oh, private group.
Yeah, a town
I
group.
understand.
Or borough page, either.
So,
What do
do
we?
you-
I would like to answer the
Yeah,
question.
I would love to answer, but I would love to answer, but I'm gonna let Terry answer. Terry's like,
policy on this.
me.
I'm gonna use your exact example.
Yes.
You see that on there, please email me, and let's use that example. Either Mike W. from Public Works, and in this case, it would be Matt Hirsch, who's the head of Public Works. Just say you saw this, or you want, you just, in case you missed it, go check it out, because I'm from Highland Park, isn't an official,
Right,
conduit,
yeah.
and you
No.
might not see it if I'm busy plowing roads.
Right.
So, what I would ask, cause I care about that stuff, it's, safety, it's all that stuff, but if you see something, don't tag Hirsch and me on Facebook, cause I don't go on Facebook on my own time. So, send an email, text to me, alerting me to the fact that you saw that, don't know if it's true or not, but just in case you're
Right.
concerned. So I know that's an overly simplistic example, because I know it's more often more in depth, but it's, the best way to handle it is if you're concerned about it, is to just get it to me so we can route it to the department that has to, if it's a complaint, if it's a safety hazard thing of that nature.
And then we have those forms also on
The
the
report of
website, give
concern on our
a
website.
report of concern form. Each council member have their email address, the administration has an email, so people can just voice a concern, send it in there. Because I am not in any of those groups, and so if you're saying whatever, you're just saying whatever. Because if you wanna communicate with me, all my information is on public, so you can just reach out. Council.
So I have a quick follow-up question on that. We used to have the recycle app, is that still running?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, yes, that's great.
That's for
I love it.
you reporting potholes or
It can report
accidents and
in,
stuff like
and
that.
it can also, it obviously reports out to
Yeah.
residents. But the portal on our website, Report of Concern, I see every one of those that come through.
Yes.
And I
Good.
do,
So
when
I
I think
get
it's
them too.
important, I trust the departments are getting it done, but if I'm concerned or if it's a liability issue, I tag it and I follow up.
Sure.
So I would encourage you to drive people there, because it's an easier way for me to track than on social media.
To be honest, I'm not on social media tracking any of that, so there's too many balls I have to juggle, so if you send me something and I get a report of concern or an email, I'm on top of it. That's where I gotta let my focus.
Better off
It's
just.
a good way to ruin your weekend, that's for sure.
You wish to commit suicide, you go on there. Anything else on this one? Did we answer your question?
Yeah. I just
Okay,
wanted
great.
to make sure.
And rules of debate and decorum. Again, we've already been through this, again, the mayor runs the meeting, make sure that everything is, mayor's gonna ensure that everything runs smoothly, and again,
11? Oh, I thought you were on the standing committee.
so, yeah, but there were no changes to standing committees.
What is a ex-officer or whatever that is?
Ex officio,
Yeah, ex officio, what is that?
ex officio member?
So,
Yes.
the mayor just attends the meeting, she doesn't have to vote, essentially, she's just.
She
And
has
can
a-
go to everybody's meeting.
But she
Yeah.
can make a quorum.
So,
If,
So she, if.
I'll let the attorney explain.
No, not on the standing committee, and nor she can make a quorum if I believe there's only 3 council members
Mhm.
that show up, but that's, again, that goes to the Faulkner Act of when you guys have a quorum.
But these are just regular
Yes.
meetings, these
By
are just
nature of
regular
her
committee
office. By
meetings,
nature
I
of
can
office.
attend all of them.
Oh,
So
okay.
she
So
can
if
attend.
3, council members are there and she shows up, that's fine.
Not at standing committee, I'm talking about the general, I'm talking about your public.
No,
meeting.
this is understanding
Standing
committee. This
Yeah,
is what this
section-
says.
section, can I have, Mayor? Good.
Terry, 1 second.
I'm sorry, this one had came up a lot prior to Mayor Foster, and what our practice is, I'll tell you, I'm not gonna tell the law or the rules of order, is the mayor has all the committee meetings on her calendar.
Yes.
I ask her not to come, if she really wants to come, she's gotta give us 48 hours notice, so that we can notice the meeting that we may have a quorum there. And so that's our practice, so she does know, like, if Public Works is meeting tomorrow at 8:30. But you'll know she doesn't come unless she has a concern that she wants to bring to you, and she would reach out to whoever the chair of the committee is.
And let him know,
So-
or if I have in person, I'll
so-
send an email with.
So I guess she
my
has the
concerns.
right to do that, but we have a practice of noticing those meetings if we think there's a chance we would have a quorum.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know enough about Faulkner Acts and this and that, if that is or isn't a quorum, but that's been our, to be on the side of caution, that's been our practice. We try to share the agendas for the committee with her, when I distribute them, so that she has the opportunity to sit in if she feels it's important, so, that's how we've kind of navigated that requirement.
Answer the question?
No. Oh, so in the know.
Yeah, absolutely in the know, gotta be in the know. Alright, anything else on this one, standing committee?
Nomination, I don't think there's any changes to nomination for commissions, ordinances and resolutions.
Anything on boards and commissions, this is an important one,
Yeah, sorry.
board and commissions? About the filling of the boards and commissions? And I know we were working with Jen to like kind of streamline some of it and put the codes on and everything else.
That's a separate
Yeah.
Okay,
project.
okay. Just yet. Okay.
Ordinances and resolutions, I think that's pretty, right?
Mhm, yeah, pretty
okay.
straightforward.
Adoption and
Mhm.
term regarding the rules of order and rules of debate and
And speaking to the
And
microphone, as I
decorum.
always remind everyone, at every meeting, speaking to the microphone.
That's what I want to question, under rules
Councilmember.
of debate,
Yeah,
do we wanna add in, I don't think it's really necessary, but do we wanna add in, council member shall identify themselves when speaking? Or when beginning to speak for purposes of identifying for, under TPH and federal law?
oh well, council member, every council member had to speak for any purposes whatsoever may address, oh, okay, that's a different thing. Oh, so you're saying just to identify
Yeah,
themselves
yeah,
before
council
speaking?
member shall
Council
identify
member once
themselves.
recognized me, okay,
Yeah, cause that's a
yeah,
new
we
thing.
could just,
Yeah, it's a new thing.
we could add a placeholder, say you must identify yourself before you speak.
yeah, and just like, you know. we
I'm
just like
council
to-
member George and blah, 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 blah,
You
blah.
know.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine, we can have something like that, that's fine.
Okay. That's cool.
Correspondence, there are no changes there,
I'm not.
You have another, you have a
sorry.
question?
yeah,
Under section 3, interruption, should we add that, members of council or the mayor shall not interrupt a member of the public while they are speaking during their allotted time?
Depends. If somebody's being obscene.
The mayor can interrupt if.
Well, the mayor can.
The mayor can
For
interrupt.
point of order, correct.
Point of order, yes.
Point of order or.
But the council members should not, because we have time when we just need to act in a certain way. Cause at any time, I can always use the gavel and say point of order to anyone.
Yes. Yes, in order to
So
keep those,
to
the meeting,
keep,
yes,
keep decorum in
yes.
the meeting.
Yes, that's,
Mhm.
that's kind of like the overall,
Mhm.
overall about this.
Right.
member shall abstain on a vote unless the councilman places on the record the reason for the.
Yeah, not so much.
Right
Five.
Five.
I think that needs to be
Yeah,
struck.
what I want, yeah.
That needs to be struck. The only time a member of any governing body has to state why they voted is the planning board when they're voting against the master plan.
Mhm.
That's it.
And I think that's it?
So we're gonna look at number five is questionable.
Yes, I think you, said you wanted to remove that,
Yeah,
correct?
I would like
Okay.
to remove.
I can see it's in the old.
Yes.
Is it all right?
Yeah,
Fresh
I
eyes.
think we were fine, I don't think we were.
I think these are pretty
following
close to the ones Carolyn has on file.
They were
And
from the
you have, like,
sixties,
and
these
that-
are from the
That's
sixties.
before you and Carolyn in 2000.
Yeah, exactly, this is like, whew, from from the
There's
sixties.
probably word perfect coding.
Oh,
in those
DOS.
Oh, Lord.
These people who are listening like, what is DOS? Okay, alright, adjournment, okay.
Public comment?
Are we done on the
Are we
rules?
done with the rules?
Are we done?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, I apologize,
and,
Mayor.
still.
No, Stephanie's still going on.
Okay.
Careful.
Oh, this last one, the rules.
Sorry, I didn't know you were going that way.
2/3.
Vote on the roll call vote. I take, so can I two consecutive? Oh, so this has to go on like twice?
So which one are you looking at?
She's looking at section 3. Rules may be altered.
Rules may be altered or amended only by 2/3 vote.
Wait,
and
what
roll call
the-
taken at two. So you're essentially doing this like this is more for an ordinance, but you passed this as a resolution. You
So why don't we
adopted
just
it.
revisit that and see what, based on our procedures?
We may have to,
Or our code.
yeah.
What is this, section 2 for?
You guys are gonna need a special committee to consider it first before it can even move to, a resolution that we vote on 2 times.
I should have been reading this.
Work
stuff.
session?
You, when you said Jeez. She said, well, no, she gave some examples.
Don't give that
No.
example that I gave.
No, that was in another tab, not that one, but that a mayor put, each council member has to give me $1 or something, and they all voted on it. And, but I was like reading this now, like, what?
We'll take a look at I'll take a look at the
So you
code.
can put any.
On this?
Well,
Mayor,
I think we're gonna have to take all the recommendations and suggestions and then screen it through our existing code. If there's
Yes.
any
Yes, yes.
conflicts,
Any
we'll have to
conflicts.
figure out how to deal with them.
And flush them out.
And
Let's get the
so-
stuff from 1960s to
I think a
align
lot
with
of
the
these-
2000s.
A lot of these we can do, and then I guess the question is, this whole, how do you amend these
How do you-
things?
how do you-
Obviously, we've been doing it by resolution.
Right.
Right.
So we'll have to figure that out.
Yes.
They locked
You go
us
through
in
you
here.
go through the amendments, and then you have to have your meeting, 2/3 meeting to amend it, to remove this, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, that's why you
Yeah.
guys.
We got a lot of moving
Yes.
parts to fix.
You had 2 meetings to get rid of it.
Exactly. Now you can see why people keep their rules of order.
They're like, no, it's too much work, we just keeping what we have.
It's probably fine if the first one is when you first adopt it, like, you can do the normal resolution procedure, but then I think the idea is you're locked in for the
Midstream
year.
kind of thing.
And then if you're gonna change it in the middle of the year, then you gotta go through all this process.
Right,
Oh.
right,
So
exactly.
maybe what we'll do is we'll look at how this all lines up and we can make the decision, is it pressing or do we wait till January,
Right.
Yes.
And that's, a lot of this is what we're looking at now, because we wanna clean up our ordinances, our rules, and make sure that for the next go around when we adopt next year, that we're in perfect alignment. So we can just move forward.
Agreed.
Any other questions on this? Okay,
Can we tell her she would vote to get rid of the public works committee?
I'm not getting.
No.
That, he has to be recognized by 3 other council members and the mayor. Oh my God. We all, Council President.
Okay.
Terry, when you put it
Council-
together,
you
did you
remember
put it
council
so
member?
we can see the outline?
The workup, yeah, the
Oh,
workup.
right.
Yes, we can definitely do that, yes.
But you'll definitely see the markup.
That's it.
All right, and now it's time for public comments. Total time allotted, 21 minutes, 3 minutes per speakers, limited to item on this agenda. Comments from members of the public attending in person will be heard first, followed by those who are attending on Zoom. Before we go there, do we have anyone on Zoom?
I do have 3 attendees on Zoom.
Okay. Anyone from the public who wishes to speak can do so now. Step up to the microphone, identify yourself.
I'm confused, cause public comment, cause you said public, on the agenda, or maybe I confused myself, but I
We're on the public participation, you have 3 minutes.
didn't say anything. Thank you. Am I recognized?
Please identify yourself.
Jersey Watcher YouTube channel broadcasting worldwide. Am I recognized?
Yes, please speak.
Thank you. So how many board members here in Highland Park, please raise your hand, think it's inappropriate for a 10-year-old at a library to go into the young adult section and be able to open up a book, a child pornographic book that teaches one boy to give another boy fellatio? Any show of hands if you think it's inappropriate? So none of them think it's inappropriate. Yeah, recently I went to the Highland Park Library. I checked the young adult section ages. It's through 10 to 22, and they didn't just have this book in the library. They had it as a standout. You know, gender queer. This book is gay. One of those too, on pages 160, actually has one boy. It's teaching boys. One boy how to give another boy fellatio. Raise your hands. Anyone think it's inappropriate here in Highland Park Council? The essentially child pornography. Are you aware that it's illegal to provide children with child pornography? Raise your hands if you think it's disgusting to provide children with child pornography. 3 different occasions, 3 times. They don't care. They don't care. How much time do I have left?
I'm not Jen timing.
Jen, how much time I got left?
124.
124. There's a lot of things I disagree with here tonight, but I'll address them at another time. Limit people for 21 minutes, you know, so I can come here with 7 people and make sure not one Highland Park resident speaks. That's a little bit insane. But I love this town. I know it's a good town. Sometimes a little bit too liberal. Is that why you guys are not raising your hands? How many of you up there think it's disgusting to provide child pornography at the Highland Park Library? Anybody? We're just ignoring members of the public? Members of the public come here to let you know about child pornography in the library. Highland Park Library refuses to give out grievance forms. They say on their grievance form, the only way you can give us a grievance is if you're a resident of Highland. Is if you're a resident of Highland Park. How many seconds?
30.
And I want to know which, because you guys had the best lawyer in the world. Why would you guys hire Rayno and Coughlin-Mancello when they recently banned the American flag? And there's so many news articles of them funneling money and stealing money from all the townships. Whose great idea was it to hire Coughlin and Rayno and Mancello? The scumbags. She's all right though. She was all right, but you know, your firm still banned the American flag. Oh.
Time.
Any other comments from members of the public?
I'm just gonna move this up just a little bit so I can be seen. Okay, that's better. I'm gonna choose to remain anonymous tonight. May I proceed?
Go ahead.
Thank you. There's a lot of things I want to say, and I only have 3 minutes, which is unfortunate. It doesn't give me enough proper time to actually thank you guys for what I see. You guys have good energy. I like what I'm hearing. Councilman George, I believe it is. I agree with like almost everything you said. It's very rare tonight. And I appreciate Councilman Hale, the questions that you rose up. Wording and terminology is very, very important. And my fear with the Coughlin Law Firm is that they do these things specifically with, I believe, an intent to possibly try to have litigation because they play tug of war with people's rights and people's freedoms. And in your elected capacity, they're playing with your rights by using the incorrect verbiage. Can is different than must. Must and shall are different than can and should. I was arrested in Lavalette for filming a meeting, just as I'm doing here tonight. They had a resolution that said you can ask for prior permission. Torres versus Pine Hill, 2007 Supreme Court law gives us a common law right to film these meetings. But I was plucked out of there by the mayor, Mayor LaCicero, his son who was the sergeant who arrested me, and his other son was the chief. And the judge threw the case out. It was dismissed. I filed a motion pro se for dismissal. I was granted. It was expunged. And the judge said, Ken,
Can is not must, it's not shall. So when you see must, you know what that means, legal. It's not about tweaking things, because it changes everything when you change the one word. I don't think it's enough time for the public to speak, 5 minutes. I would love to address a lot of the stuff that happened tonight. I have a Facebook group called Government Entities that restrict their Facebook pages and townships. And to touch on that, really what it comes down to is, yes, those things are operable, but the Coughlin law firm will deny those requests. That's exactly what will happen. You have to sue for your rights. So if your phones are all operable. It's true, but they will block it. They will ignore the request, and then they will have to be sued. Just like I'm suing for my case versus New Jersey. And part of the ruling was anonymous communications are permissible within government. That's part of the OPMA. It's my First Amendment right to come here and remain anonymous and redress my grievances with government. And I think we really should think about maybe having more than 3 minutes, because
30 seconds.
I'm under the gun. What do we do about disability people who speak slowly, maybe have to process things a little bit more time? Councilman Hale, I appreciate this stuff that I read about you with making sure that buildings are ADA compliant in public buildings. That's very important. I've been to hundreds of council meetings all over New Jersey. I've seen Brielle, no wheelchair access for their police station or their council meeting. We had 3 people who were in wheelchairs. They couldn't even get into the council meeting. But if they arrest you in Brielle, they'll go take your money at Manasquan Court because it's ADA accessible. They actually wound up spending $500,000, over almost $1 million.
Thank you. Anyone looking for further comment?
No hands up, Mayor. There are now 4 attendees, Joe.
4 attendees, no hands up? Okay. Seeing that there's no one else, may I have a motion to close public participation?
So moved. You know what we have to do?
No hands up.
We only,
I'm sorry.
council members? Roll call?
I need a second.
Second.
Councilmember George?
Yes.
Councilmember Hale?
Yes.
Council President Kim Cho-Han?
Yes.
Councilmember Pistonik?
Yes.
Councilmember Vargas?
Yes.
Okay. All right, may I have a motion to adjourn public, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Next meeting is?
Our next meeting is February 4th.
Regular
Next
meeting.
regular meeting, February 4th.
And thank you, Mayor. This is the first time we didn't have to go through security. We weren't harassed by police officers. Actually, there's not even a police officer in the building, so God bless you, you know. Pretty awesome time today. I like you, you're all right, but get hired by a different law firm. They're horrible. Your dress is lovely. I love it. Hell yeah.